Good morning. Painting in the Poconos. Little 5x7 canvas board. Standard palette. We're going to paint this scene here. Maybe use that shadow to draw us in. Focus on this circle shape. I'm going to tilt my camera down so you can see my work. Titanium white, Mars black, ultramarine blue, oxazine purple, yellow, ochre, burnt sienna, cad red, cad yellow. That's our palette today. Gonna tone our canvas with a mixture of burnt sienna and yellow ochre. Gonna spritz our canvas and our palette. There's a lot of moisture in the air, but want to make sure we're using acrylics today. That we can push them around the canvas and that they stay wet long enough for us to get this painting going. All right, got a nice wash, tone the canvas, got rid of all the white. Gonna use my little rag here, carve out the lighter areas. Stick with this bigger brush. I'm gonna mix up some dark purple and just map out major shadow patterns here. Biggest shadow patterns is gonna be this tree. These are the evergreen foliage. Okay. Trees in the midground. No more trees in the midground here. Kind of have some shrubs and stuff close to the shore of the lake. Mix up a bluer, grayer version of this purple, add a little white, a little ultramarine blue, a little bit more black, a little bit more blue. There you go. We use this to put the darker tone that we see in the background. Lighten that up quite a bit in some spots. And then a little bit of a darker green. Let's get a darker green going here. Got some yellow ochre, ultramarine blue, and black. Maybe a little bit of cad yellow. There we go. And we'll go ahead and get that in, especially some of these mid-ground shapes. Okay. And we'll use a little bit more of that in the evergreen foliage. Definitely going to refine these shapes quite a bit. Back and get our purpley black going, a little bit of yellow ochre. And we're going to refine this shadow shape here. Shapes, I should say. Some rocks there, we got some more shadows there. We got some shadows over here. Okay, now get some of that going in the background. All right. And a little bit more, just covering up some of this purple. Before we get too far, we're going to scare up some sky color, a little ultramarine blue, and mostly titanium white. Maybe a little touch of burnt sienna, more titanium white. It's got to be the lightest shape in the scene by a lot, so go ahead and, yep, that's close enough. I set that aside for a bit. Work on our green. It's going to be a pretty intense green plain here, mostly yellow. That's good for starters. We're going to adjust this quite a bit as we go. Some color and temperature variance will be worked in here, but we got just cover this. I just want to cover this and work on the shapes a little bit. Let some of that burnt sienna poke through. Use some of this in the background. Indicate some of the light reflecting off of trees. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and get some white and mix that in with a little yellow ochre. And we'll have some fun with that. Got a little bit of a greenish gray mapped out on this tree. And we're going to get a couple layers in here. We're going to get like a greenish gray in the water. And then we will make some adjustments to kind of suggest the light that we're seeing. which I see is kind of a really light, rusty pink. So I'm gonna mix up a little bit of cad red, a lot of white, and a little bit of burnt sienna. Just gonna wipe some of this off, and then we'll go ahead and just use a light touch, almost a dry brush effect, and drag the brush across. A lot of broken spots. Broken lines. The light's changing fast. So I'll have to draw the line somewhere. And stop chasing it. And a lot of these blobs are going to be too big, but we're going to reduce their size by adding in some cooler colors to help create vibrations, color vibrations. Okay. All right. So we'll get some of those lighter, redder tones in some of the grassy areas that are lit up. All right. Now, I'll take some of my yellow, some of my blue, yellow ochre, more blue, more yellow, a little bit of white. And we're gonna suggest some of this foliage, some of this ivy that's growing. Normally we work dark to light. We're gonna go ahead and work light to dark with this. And then we're gonna mix up similar color, a little bluer, but also a little whiter, so a cooler yellow. And we're gonna get that indicating some of the light catching the outer edge of this evergreen foliage. And we're gonna do the same thing here. Just gonna suggest some blades of grass here and there. Oops, that's all right. Got a little clumsy, it's okay. We could fix that. And I'm gonna go and create a little rust color to work in. Break up some of those lines. Alright, I'm gonna go through and reinforce our deepest, darkest shadow areas. Usually a mixture of black and purple or black and blue. And we're gonna get a nice dark green going to make sure that this foliage has a little bit more body. This little ivy. And also we honor the fact that quite a bit of it is on the tree in shadow. And we'll use some of that same dark green, create some color variance in the shadows cast by the tree and the branches. All right, get some of this in the water and some of the green, and we'll wrap up soon here. We're gonna push some of this background area back even more. Cooling it off, lightening it up. And we'll bring some of that down into the lake. There you go. Alrighty. Now, warmer, brighter yellow. In some areas here. All right, I think we're getting close to done. It's a matter of evaluating, um, what final details I want to add in and leave out. But kind of have, I think, a good capture here for the most part of the scene and what it feels like. Just play for a little bit. Be careful not to destroy the good things and add too many details that are irrelevant. I am going to suggest these stones in the midground because I think they play an important role. It'll help push back that background a little bit. And I'm just going to create one more little color and temperature variance, a real light gray ochre color, and just work that in to that background selectively. And then into the water. And a few last highlights. I think I've used just 2 brushes for this painting. Love keeping it simple when you can. Spots of light here and there. Break up some of these shapes a little bit. And a couple of warmer notes in the foreground sometimes can help break things up and enhance that illusion of 3-dimensionality. That's the hope here anyway. Okay. There you go, there you have it. I think we are gonna wrap up. We got a bunch of stuff to do Friday morning here. Was able to get some sketching in. Part of me wants to put those vines in. I'm gonna get a bluish green going here and just indicate some more, a little bit more yellow. All right, I think we'll wrap up there. Back through with some of the sky color. Morning. Don't want to completely erase those little bits of burnt sienna peeking through, but as they do add a nice little kind of vibration, if you will, that warm color versus the cool color of the sky. blend it there. Let me know what you think in the comments if you want to do so. Having a hard time with the glare here, but I think I captured the essence of the scene pretty well. Maybe one last thing, which is always dangerous. I'm gonna put a little warm highlight on the top of the rocks. There you go. And we'll stop it there. Thanks for watching. Check out the other content on the channel if you're interested. I have some educational content out there. Hope you have a great day, great weekend. Be well. Hope to see you again soon.